clashes between Israel and Iran have escalated dramatically. Now, Iran has launched hundreds of missiles at Israel. So why has Iran done this, and what are the targets? Here's what you need to know. Today, we'll look at what triggered this conflict. What were the targets of the Israeli airstrikes, and how did Iran respond? In this dramatic footage, we can see the moment that Iran launched over 100 missiles at Israel. We'll go back in just a second to where it all began. Why did Israel conduct airstrikes on the airport in the first place? Now, according to Israeli media, this was part of a months-long undercover operation. They had been tracking weapons shipments from Iran via Syria. Now, if true, why wouldn't Israel want to intercept these weapons before they reach the front lines? Now, there's another theory. Some analysts believe that these airstrikes were a message to the new Iranian president, Ebrahim Raisi. Now, Raisi is seen as a hard man. He's taken a hard line against Israel. And he took a more hard line when he took office last month. Now, if you're enjoying this video, please make sure to subscribe. It really does help me to reach more people. Now, let's get back to today's events. As I mentioned, in response to the airstrikes on the airport, Iran vowed to respond. And today, they did. Now, Iranian state TV announced that they had launched 133 missiles at 2 bases in Iraq and Syria. Now, those bases are home to U.S. troops, and we saw similar attacks at the start of the year. In January, for instance, Iran launched ballistic missiles at the same airfield in Iraq. Now, those missiles were also said to be in response to an Israeli airstrike. Now, this time around, however, things appear to be much more intense. Now, many of the missiles launched by Iran failed. They were intercepted by U.S. missile defense systems. However, one of the missiles hit a base in Syria, killing at least 1 civilian. Now, you might be wondering why Iran targeted bases housing U.S. troops. Well, this is known as asymmetric warfare. You see, Iran is a weaker regional power compared to Israel. So instead of directly confronting Israel, Iran targets U.S. bases in the region. But so far, no country has taken any significant action. And perhaps that's exactly what Iran wanted. Once again, they've managed to put the world powers on the back foot. And they've managed to deflect attention away from their nuclear program. Now, some analysts believe that this is all part of a much bigger plan. Basically, Iran wants to drive a wedge between the US and its allies. And then they'll use this to boost their nuclear program. If the US gets bogged down in the Middle East once again, then this will make it much harder to impose sanctions on Iran. Iran is a master of playing the long game. Now, some analysts believe that this escalation is only temporary. Basically, Iran wanted to send a message to Israel, and they've done that now, and perhaps the status quo will return. Perhaps Israel will continue to carry out airstrikes against Iran and its allies. And in response, Iran will launch missiles at bases in Iraq and Syria. If you want more on this, I'll be discussing this further on another channel. Now, if you want to watch that content, please make sure to click the link in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe and have a great rest of your day.